Hi, in this video, I am going to be talking about how you can avoid, as much as possible, the spam filters when you are sending emails from platforms such as MailerLite, Kartra, and all of those kind of things. Because obviously when you've taken a long time to build up that email list, you want as many of those emails to go through to those people as possible. You want to try and avoid the spam trap. So I'm going to share with you a few tips to try and make that happen. So first of all, you want to make sure that you're sending newsletters from your own domain. So what that means is you will buy a domain, a website domain. So obviously I've got shellyshulman.com and I will send my emails from shelly@shellyshulman.com. You want to try and avoid using domains like Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo. They're okay for sending kind of like one-on-one emails, so, you know, to friends and family. But when you're doing bulk email delivery, it's not the best idea. So, you know, make sure that you have got something like Shelly@ShellyShulman, and actually having your first name or your name in your email address is actually better than having something like info, no reply, that kind of thing. A personalized email address is much, much better for that. And then you want to build what's called a sender reputation. So this is a bit like a 5-star rating that you build up over time, but it's based on things like the quality of the email campaigns that you send out, you know, how frequently you send an email out, the size of the email you're sending out, and subscriber engagement. So obviously, if you just send them out sporadically, you're going to risk people just unsubscribing and reporting them as spam. When it comes to subscriber engagement, of course, the open rate is really, really important, but it also looks at things like the amount of replies that you're getting to those emails. So when we write those initial sales funnels and we write those initial nurture emails, we always put kind of like, oh, you know, hit reply and let me know, because it encourages people to engage. Also having links within your email also helps for people to click, because then they can see that your subscribers are engaging in the content that you're sending them, which means that it's going to increase that sender reputation. So you want to think about things like that. You want to optimize your newsletter copy, your email copy. So the spam filters obviously aren't human, they're all robotic. So basically they will flag any email characteristics associated with spam. And sometimes, you know, they do get it wrong. So keep it short. Email spam filters don't like newsletters that are a mile long. There's no perfect length, but if you have more than 200 words or the reader has to work hard to get through it, it might be a good idea to shorten it. Things like don't use too many explanation points. Avoid writing text in red. Don't use caps locks. Make sure you're using spell check to make sure that, you know, there's no grammatical and spelling errors in there. All of those little things like that will help optimize the emails that you're sending. And also avoid sending or using spam trigger words. So there's no magic keywords to improve the deliverability of your emails, but you can limit the use of risky words. So words that sound desperate or pushy or too good to be true. So desperate is things like please click here, which we would normally put in an email, because we would say to get your freebie, please click here. But they can associate that, you know, spam filters may not like that. Action required, 100% free, no catch, this is not spam, I promise you, cash bonus. All of those little things could actually trigger the spam filters. So just be aware of that. You also want to optimize your image to text ratio. So there's this thing that you shouldn't send emails with text in, email with images in, because the spam filters don't like it. Now, the reason for that is when spam filters were first created, they were created to detect words, not images. And so the spammers got around it by creating really, really word heavy images, and the spam filters wouldn't pick that up. So if your newsletter template has more images than text, it's going to more likely land in the spam filter. So think about things like that. You can put images in your emails, there's nothing doing that, but just make sure there is a really, really good balance. So you can have a really, really nice header image, there's nothing wrong with that, but make sure you have text to balance it out. And make sure that you check If you're putting links in your email, make sure you're checking your link reputation, because every domain that you link to in an email has a reputation. So if you link to a domain with a bad reputation, it's going to impact your sender reputation. So have a think about things like that. Test your emails before sending them so that you can actually go through that customer experience and seeing the same emails. It also helps you spot any mistakes, because even though we go through it, we check, sometimes mistakes get past us. So maybe get a friend or family member just to say, hey, can I just test my emails through you? Because they may spot something that you don't, because sometimes obviously we're too close to it. Obviously, make sure that everybody that you are emailing has given you permission to email them. So there was a time, a long time ago, you could have purchased email lists. I used to purchase email lists, not in a bad way. They were related. It wasn't just a random thing. But as part of advertising a magazine, for example, I would get the email lists from where that magazine was given out. So things like that don't help you. So don't use that. Use it authentically. And also, you know, knowing that engagement is really, really important, and when I say your engagement, your open rates are really, really important. Clean your email list regularly. So what you can do in MailerLite is you can actually clean your email list. So if anybody hasn't opened your email in about 6 months, you can remove them from your email list, because of course they're bringing down that open rate, which is affecting your sender reputation. So you want to make sure, and it's really easy on MailerLite, you know, on all the systems on how to clean it. It's just a couple of clicks. And you have to remember that when you have an email list, the number is just a vanity statistics. It may be really, really nice to have an email list of 15,000 people, but in actual fact, if only 5,000 of them are opening your emails, there's no point in you having 10,000 on that list. It's like everything else, like social media, groups, you want to have engaged people. So make sure you are considering that. And also just ask subscribers to whitelist you. So on my thank you pages, you may have seen in these videos that I've done, I've always said add shellyshulman.com to your whitelist. So it just means that they go to an approved list of senders. So, you know, they're little hints and tips that could help you along the way, just to make sure that your emails aren't going to spam as much as you possibly can. Of course, you know, sometimes these things are in the hands of the gods. There's not a lot that we can do, but anything that you can do to help that along, you know, think about things like your subject lines. You know, make sure that when people are signing up to your freebie, when the email gets through, they know exactly what it is, so they know to open it. It's not just an email from a random person. So particularly if you've got an opt-in, a landing page, a freebie, and the branding is, for example, the branding on the cake company would have been LaBelle Cake Company. Make sure that that email, if that's all the branding that you've used on the landing page, make sure that the email comes from LaBelle Cake Company and not Shelly Shulman, because people won't be looking for an email from Shelly Shulman. They would have been looking for an email from LaBelle Cake Company. So make sure that you're being consistent with that, so that you are going to increase the chances of people opening those emails that you send them, because you will be surprised how many people sign up for a freebie and never open the email. It's a fascinating thing to me, but people do it. So hopefully that helps, and it just gives you a few little tips on how you can help prevent those emails go into spam. Of course, like everything, like the Facebook algorithm, Instagram algorithms, we don't have much control over it, but there are little things that we can do to help move it forward. So I hope that that helps. Of course, if you have any questions, as always, please do pop them in the comments, and please do like and subscribe. Until then, see you on the next video.